Have you been thinking, I just can't get ahead it quickly enough, or I'm feeling overwhelmed, or sometimes I feel a little bit lonely in what I'm doing? Well, then this podcast episode is for you.
You're listening to the Dynamic Women podcast. Each week, you'll be inspired by our global community of women. They'll share with you tools and stories to help you be dynamic in every area of life. He's your host, award-winning coach, and the CEO and founder of Dynamic Women, Diane Rolston.
Hello, lovely Dynamic Women, and welcome to the Dynamic Women podcast. I am Diane Rolston, your host. And today I'm going to talk about what's stopping you from getting ahead quickly. And how can you not be overwhelmed? This topic has been sparked by a multitude of areas that I have seen and worked in where I'm noticing how many women are doing it all themselves. And this is not going to get into like, you need to delegate and all that, but it's getting into that thought of, you're working by yourself in your business, or you're working by yourself in your career, in your position. And you start to feel like you're on an island all by yourself. And COVID's only made this worse because we are now all at home, or many of us are at home, or if we're at the office, we're in a limited capacity. So there's not a lot of people. Plus there's a lot of limited interaction where normally you'd be hanging out by the water cooler and having a chat, or you would be having big board meetings, or you'd be going to see clients and customers or have them come into the office. And for those entrepreneurs, you'd be at events and trainings and masterminds and things. And it came up again today when I was brought in to speak at a conference for admins. And, I talked about flying solo, and I gave the image of a goose flying by itself. And that's kind of a weird thing to see. You normally don't see that. You see geese flying in a V. And the reason why they fly together in that V is because of synergy. You can cut through the air better. They actually can make a better range of 71%. They honk at each other for encouragement. They change up the lead. If one of them is sick or tired or injured and has to go away from the flock, then the other ones, two others go with it. And there's so many reasons. Even if if they fall out of alignment of the V, then they want to get back. It motivates them to get back because they see how much easier it is to do it together. So there's so many ways that just this thing in nature is showing us how really, really we need to be. And when I said that, a lot of them said, I feel like I'm on an island all by myself. Isn't that sad? With how connected we are in the world, with all the social media platforms, with phones and the internet and email and everything, all these options we have, including Zoom and the podcast that you're listening to. People feel like they're on an island by themselves. So when I ask the question, what's stopping you from getting ahead quickly and not being overwhelmed or lonely? Could it be having your own V formation? Could it be being a part of a group that will support you and cheer you on? And you may think, I'm part of an association, or I have my family, or I have a good group of friends. But how many of these people are truly invested in you reaching your goals? In you following your dreams? Will they help to dust you off and pick you back up again? Will they hold you accountable? Will they tell you when you've got broccoli in your teeth? Or in your business or in your career when you've really messed up? Will they give you the hard truth so that you can continue to up-level and upgrade? If you don't have that, then it could be what's holding you back. Many times with clients of mine who are running their own businesses, or they're in a high-level position in a company, they're missing that ability to brainstorm ideas with someone else. And so many times I do that either in a one-on-one setting with them, or I bring them into a group mastermind program like She's Gold, And then in other cases, they're a part of my Dynamic Women global community events. But to have the consistency of the same people or the same person that's supporting you, that's walking alongside you, that's holding you accountable, that's what helps you get ahead. That's what helps you to not be overwhelmed, because they're going to help you break things down. They're going to help to really combat any of those limiting beliefs that pop up and rear their ugly heads and hold you back. You know, being on an island all by yourself is lonely. And when you're lonely, that can get into depression. And when you're feeling like you're all alone, hope goes, motivation goes. And you may think, wow, that's a slippery slope we're going down now to say that all of that happens. But it can slowly happen over time, to the point where you're like, what is even wrong with me? Why am I not as motivated as I used to be? I don't feel like myself. I'm more tired than usual. Wow, it took me a lot longer to do that. I've been losing focus recently. How come I keep forgetting things? Have any of those symptoms popped up for you? Maybe you're reaching at night for a little bit more wine than usual. Maybe you find it hard to go to sleep because your mind is racing. Maybe you binge watch Netflix as just a way to escape. If you're not surrounded with other people who are providing this for you, then it's time to find those people. I encourage the group today to have 5 people where they know they can call on them when they have a question, when they have a need, when they have some brainstorming they need to do, when they have a problem that they need another perspective on. If you don't have those 5, today's the day to start. And you're like, oh no, I only have 1 or I have none. That's okay. Start by thinking about what are the goals that you have and what do you want to achieve? And then look to who can help you achieve that. If you are thinking about, well, I just want a ready-made one. You know, I don't want the pain of having to find people and connect with them and then ask them to be kind of someone who would support me. I don't want to do that. If you don't want to go through the pain of that, and you want a group that is just ready, set, where you can just plug in and get the support that you need so that you don't feel like you're on an island all by yourself, a place where there's camaraderie, a place where there's understanding and encouragement, then I do invite you to join the She's Gold Coaching Mastermind program. The doors are opening soon. We have a few extra spots in that program that will become available. So I encourage you to email me directly, Diane@DianeRolston.com, so that we can see if you are a fit for this program. And this program has been called the Speed Course to Reach Your Goals. And what I've found is that the bonds that are made in this program between the different people are huge. And confidence increases. Man, like I've seen some of the women in the program go from like, I don't know if I can do this, to a little bit of a badass. And their confidence has soared. Their self-efficacy is cemented in, and they are just ready to take on new and bigger challenges. I love how at the start of our meetings that we have, our sessions, I ask for what's a success you've had recently. And man, the successes that they've had, like one of the women, she had a goal of purchasing her RV, and maybe the next 3 years. She did it in 30 days. Another one of the women actually was just headhunted for a top executive position where she now can design how she wants to live her business life and her work life. There are so many great things that happen in this community, and these women definitely don't feel like they're on islands by themselves. Nothing is stopping them from getting ahead quickly, and they're not overwhelmed. So email me, Diane@DianeRolston.com, or go to my website, DianeRolston.com, and search for She's Gold Coaching Mastermind. I hope that you'll jump into it. And if there are other things that are coming up by what I said, and you're like, oh man, yes, this, I need that, this, or I need that, or I'd like to talk about one-on-one coaching, please reach out at the same email. So it was such a pleasure to speak to this group today, and that's why I really wanted to share this message with you, because I care about you. I thank you for listening to the Dynamic Women podcast. If you've attended our events, the Dynamic Women Global Community, then that's cool. That means I know you, I've met you, and if I haven't, I encourage you to do so. And if you haven't, we do have the Dynamic Women Global Community Facebook group. It is free to join that, and then I can meet you on Zoom as we have our virtual events. So hit subscribe, share with a friend, and until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.
Thank you, Dynamic Women, for joining us today. Please hop on over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review. Who do you know who needs to hear our message? We'd love it if you'd share our channel with your friends and family. If you're ready to be more dynamic, have more balance and more success, head over to www.dynamicwomenclub.com/free gift for your Key to Success book. Stay dynamic.